Hi, Clint. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Mary Kay. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's a beautiful day there at Augusta National.
Not well, not in April like it has been. So we'll see what Masters is like in November.
Yeah.
So
Clint Waltz is a turf grass specialist with the University of Georgia, based in Griffin. Clint, can you tell us a little bit about your program and what you all do down there?
sure. Here at University of Georgia, our turf team statewide, that's Athens, Tifton, and Griffin. But here in Griffin, majority of our faculty, we're engaged in the research and outreach and education of the turf industry. So we do the research that keeps this industry viable and tries to put the education out to put them on a cutting edge and as economically viable as they can be.
So, speaking of education, each spring, late March, early April, you write a turf grass blog,
Yeah,
and I think we published the first one right at the beginning of April.
sure.
So, can you tell us what has transpired since then?
Well, the first one I kind of did is when this whole thing with COVID-19 kind of broke out, and as grasses were starting to maybe begin to transition of things you need to do, and how does the industry maybe look at what's important. And my objective there was maybe helping folks prioritize if their business. So where does turf fit into that priority? And I even alluded then that as temperatures change over the next few weeks, things are going to get going. And I track for another project that we have here on campus. I've been tracking the daily temperatures and rainfall, and including our 4-inch soil temperatures. And what we've seen here, at least with the average maximum air temperature for the month of April, is very similar to what it was in spring of 2018. And if everybody remembers, 2018 was a year where all of our warm season grasses that greened up, they were green, and then they were just sitting on go. They never did
Mhm.
really grow any, and it was somewhere mid to late May, early June before we saw an awful lot of growth. And so from a air temperature standpoint, we're right on top of where we were 2 years ago in 2018 for our maximum and our minimum air temperatures. Now our soil temperatures are a little warmer than they were in 2018, but not as warm as they were last year or even back in 17. So our 4-inch soil temperatures are still relatively cool, and I think we're looking at something similar to last year, where our warm season grasses are just kind of they're ready to go, but the environmental conditions just really haven't kind of jump started them yet. Here we are, almost at the end of April, and in Griffin, and we can get these data from anywhere within the state, but in Griffin, somewhere between Valdosta and Ellijay, right? So the average 4-inch soil temperature in Griffin for the month right now is 64.3 degrees. So that's the average temperature for 4 inches through 27 days. So we really haven't hit that magical 65 degrees at 4 inches yet.
Hmm. So we had a really rainy winter.
Mm-hmm.
What should people be looking out for?
Well, we did. And the amount of rain that we had in December, January, February, and March, or at least the first 2/3 of March, were one of those things that I was anticipating wet soils, and as a result, they're going to be slow to warm up. And that was kind of the case. But here we've turned off a little dry, and we've gotten some what I'm going to call timely rains in the month of April. So it's allowed the soil temperatures to warm up a little bit, but not where they probably should be. And fortunately, our soils drain reasonably well. And as I said, we've had now 4 to 6 weeks of just timely rains. Sometimes it's come down in high volumes, but then you go 4, 5, 6 days without any rain has been kind of beneficial. So from a turf perspective, I wouldn't say the rain's in bad shape has hurt us any.
So with the COVID-19, soccer fields have been empty, baseball fields
Yeah.
empty, golf courses not being played on too much, some throughout the state. Is there anything in particular that landscape or lawn care professionals should be looking for when people start getting on these fields?
From a field standpoint, you're right, and I am aware of a number of park and recs and that kind of thing that have taken some opportunities. They could still keep some skeletal crews around, and they've done the right things agronomically and are planning on doing some of the right things. And obviously, those fields aren't getting beat slap to death this year. with spring sports. So they may be in better shape. I would anticipate them being in better shape going into summer than they have been really in the past. Now, golf, fortunately, has been fairly open, and many golf courses around the state have been open. And I'm hearing good things there, that there's a lot of play. Now, there's some restrictions associated with it. And I have each individual, for example, each individual has to have their own golf cart. You're not putting two people on a golf cart. So that's increasing traffic and wear from golf carts, but at least they're still open and making some business and that kind of thing. From a landscape standpoint, in lawns, if I was a commercial landscaper, I think things I would probably start off with some of my clients would be some education, because where they haven't been able to get out and maybe keep things regularly mowed or maintained, I'm starting to see on zoysia grass, for example, large patches getting going. So if you're not getting out and had the fungicide applications on a regular basis like they've historically had, some of those landscapes may be starting off, whenever you can get back out on them on a regular basis, maybe starting off a little bit behind in that respect. So I think educating the homeowner would be very important there, that we did what we could within the confines of what we had.
Good information. So we hope to see each other before August, when Turfgrass Research Field Day is scheduled.
Right.
We're all hoping that is going to occur. But in the meantime, when will you have your next update that we can send out to our members in the industry?
Well, I was kind of really hoping that end of this week or first part of next week, I was going to try to get another update out that kind of looks back over the last April of where we were, and just, again, give a little bit of a priority type of thing of where you are. So if you're a landscape company or a sports field manager and you're operating with a skeletal crew, what are the things you maybe should be doing or thinking about, just such that when we are able to open, that you're in as good a shape as you can be on things, and you're not, baling hay out on the football field or what have you on it.
Great, yeah. So fine, and just in closing, we just at the Urban Ag Council, we're just very grateful for the great relationship we have with Extension, and in particular the Turfgrass team down in Griffin, and at all the campuses. Sure. So we thank you for everything y'all do.
My pleasure. And as people are sheltering in place, the number of phone calls and emails that I've gotten directly to me or through our website, georgiaturf.com, or through our county agents, has really gone up the last 4 to 6 weeks. So I think people are sitting at home and looking at that home office, looking at the window out of that home office, and dreaming about their landscape and wondering, what can I do to improve it? So I hope the Urban Ag Council takes this as an opportunity to do some education and reach out to groups that in the past maybe at work and not thinking about their landscapes, and our landscape companies out there find a way of working with new customers and clientele.
Great advice. And we're hearing from the industry that there is an increase in interest from people who weren't interested before. And I think with people not traveling, they're going to want to improve their landscapes.
Generally in the past, when folks call me, it's a problem that they're looking for help with. And then two, they don't like the fact that whenever they call me with a problem, I'm going to cost them some money. You can generally tell that on the phone. Oh, I didn't realize it was going to cost this for turf, or I need to do this in order to prepare my soil in order to get grass down. I'm getting a little bit less of that pushback now. Well,
Clint, thanks again for joining us. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you. You too, Mary Kay.